Alright, today we're going to be taking a look at an LJN game. And since the last LJN game I reviewed was Friday the 13th, I might as well take a look at that other game LJN made based on a well-known slasher franchise that I am also a fan of. You know what it is, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, which in that case I'd be pretty shocked if you are, these movies are about a child killer named Freddy Krueger who is burned to death by a mob of angry parents, and takes his revenge by killing groups of teens in their dreams. This movie was so popular that it got 7 sequels, the last being a crossover with Friday the 13th, a remake, a television series, and 2 games, one of which we are going to be taking a look at. Seriously, if you haven't seen at least one movie in the series, then pause this video and go see the first film. Believe me, these are pretty good movies to watch. Yeah, the movies get sillier as they go along, but that just adds to the fun. At least in my opinion. So, in this game, Freddy is going around slaughtering people in their sleep, as usual. So in order to stop him, you have to go all over Elm Street and collect Freddy's remains and throw them in the high school furnace. Of course, it's not going to be a cakewalk, as Freddy is going to do everything in his power to stop you if you fall asleep or reach the end of a stage. You aren't even safe in the real world. Elm Street seems to have a huge infestation problem, and every single pest is out to kill you. Also, like Camp Crystal Lake, Springwood seems to be having a problem with zombies, making me wonder if the zombie apocalypse has happened. The gameplay does have quite a few flaws. If you haven't played the game beforehand, you are not going to have any idea on where to go first. And it doesn't help that the order of the first 3 houses you are supposed to go into changes each time you pick up and play the game. Why they decided to do this, I have no idea. Also, for some people, the whole real-world dream world mechanic is rather pointless. I mean, I'll give it props for trying to add in the going to sleep is dangerous element from the films, but when even the real world is bizarrely designed and everything in it is trying to kill you, there's really no point in trying to keep yourself awake. In fact, you're probably better off falling asleep. Yeah, the enemies will take an extra hit to kill, but if you've collected those tokens running around, then in the dream world you can switch to a dream warrior. There's 3 of them. An acrobat that can throw javelins, a wizard that can use long-range spells, and a ninja that can jump kick and throw shuriken. I'd say that's better than sticking with the default character. Yeah, Freddy will interrupt you every now and again, but you'll be able to take him out easily. Now, while the gameplay is flawed, believe it or not, it's actually not terrible. Yes, you heard that correctly, a game from LJN that isn't terrible. I know the first time you play it, it's not going to be that great, as you'll have no idea where to go. And I can understand if that'll drive off quite a few people, but after you've figured everything out, it can actually be quite enjoyable. The stages are challenging, so collecting all those bones won't be a bore. Mind you, a bone or 2 will have a tendency to blend into the background. I'm not saying the aesthetics are bad or anything, they're okay, but when you have an important item blending into the background, that can be a bit of a problem. As for the Dream Warriors, like I said earlier, they take away that urgency to stay awake, but they're really fun to use, although the ninja is probably the only one you'll be using after you get him. That jump kick really comes in handy, especially against the bosses that spawn enemies to attack you. The bosses aren't really anything special, but they can also be fun to fight. However, it is disappointing that there's no real final boss. You just get a boss rush at the end of the game. And the music, unlike Friday the 13th, won't drive you insane. The music isn't really noteworthy or anything, but at least you won't have to listen to a 5-second loop over and over again while you're going through a stage. Like a lot of things in this game, it's just average. In the end, A Nightmare on Elm Street is an alright game. It's nothing really special or memorable, but if you're bored looking for something to play, I'd say give this one a shot.